I had a gig in Athens, and I usually don't have gigs in Southern Europe because people don't understand me there, and because I don't speak their language and they don't speak mine, and you know, by and large, except if they work in hotels. But the people who work in hotels don't come to my gigs. You know, it's just how it is. And so I knew the gig was going to suck because I had played there before, and you know, I knew it would suck. I didn't know whether there'd be a lot of people there or not, but I knew that regardless it was going to suck, and it did. But I mean, there were 3 people who understood me there, and the organizer wasn't even one of them. But he, you know, but he had read my lyrics, so he, you know, he could. You know, he got the idea. Other people, I mean, the rest of the audience, the other 17 people in the audience, all knew that I was an American left-winger, and for them, that's good enough. I mean, that's amazing how that'll get you anywhere. You know, people are like, oh, great, he's an American and he's left-wing. We like it. You know, it's like you don't. It doesn't matter if you're any good or if they can understand you, or you know, you just, you know, that's like a ticket for a free beer anywhere.
Someone from Texas here.
Oh, great. Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't got any free beer, though.
Oh, no free beer. Oh, if you wear a, see, the way my technique for years ago, I mean, when Bush was in the White House, I always had a George Bush, I had a picture of Bush on my t-shirt, and it said international terrorist. And that was like, that'll make you friends anywhere, you know, outside of Texas, you know. Well, even in Texas, but they're more careful about it, you know. They look over their shoulder before they tell you that they like the t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? I lived in Houston, actually, for 3 years. I like Houston a lot. No, it's a wonderful place. It's a terrible place in the summer, and the air pollution is awful, but there's a lot of good music, a lot of good art. There's a lot of rich people with a lot of oil there, and they spend their money, and your tax breaks, they spend it on supporting all these museums. So it's like, you know, it's actually, there's some good museums there, if you're into that sort of thing. But, So I had this gig in Athens, and there was this college professor and his son, and they had lived in Indiana for 30 years, so they spoke English. And then there was this Delta flight attendant who randomly ended up in that pub, and she really enjoyed the gig. But I wanted to go to Athens because I wanted to, you know, check out the scene. I mean, half of the riots in Europe in the past 2 years have been in Athens, you know. So I thought, I got to see what's happening here, see how much of the city is left, you know. And it turned out like the entire downtown of Athens is like charcoal, you know, burnt, you know, and they haven't been able to, they fixed the windows, but out above the windows, apparently, like, they haven't, like, sandblasted away the fire damage and stuff. And, you know, so there's, in Athens, it turns out there's all these parks, and see, what the rumor I had heard was that not only are Greek people, you know, oftentimes militant and left-wing, but even the dogs of Greece are, you know, and I thought, this sounds like a PETA, you know, exaggeration or fantasy or something, you know. I had to see this for myself. So there's all these parks, and everybody in Athens, as far as I can tell, are nocturnal, and they're up all night and hanging out in these parks, and you know, just you know, minding their own business most of the time, having conversation, playing Greek music on bouzouki, you know, and there's a lot of dogs around too, because Athens has thousands of stray dogs. And, you know, so mostly they're hanging out minding their business, but occasionally they, you know, on the right occasion, when inspired by, you know, something like the IMF austerity measures, they go and burn down, you know, the town. And so there's always cops hanging around the parks with the riot shields that are as tall as they are, and they're all dressed up in all their armor and stuff, and they're sweating, and they're looking really bored and agitated. And so, you know, they occasionally, for no particular reason, wade into the parks, and they, you know, every couple of hours. And I saw this, and as soon as they do, they are rushed by dozens of stray dogs who are barking at them and holding their ground. And then if the cops attack with projectiles, tear gas, whatever, the stray dogs do what the people tend to do, which is run for cover, right? But there are some people and some dogs who don't run, and you know. So these people and these dogs, you know, while their lives might be shortened by this practice, they become legendary. And one dog named Kanellos, who died a couple of years ago, after he died, he was such a fighter of, you know, of the people, of the dogs, whatever, that he was buried by several hundred anarchists on Athens Polytechnic University campus, like on the campus. And the cops aren't allowed on the campus. So, you know, if a few hundred people want to bury a dog, they're going to bury that dog, you know. So then it came to the attention of a photographer that at every riot in Athens in the past 2 years, the same dog has been on the front lines, completely impervious to tear gas or, smoke bombs or anything. And this dog, turns out, is named Lukanikos, which means sausage. And so my mission in Athens was to find Lukanikos, and I called his name in all the parks, and he never came, but he's an anarchist, so he probably doesn't come when he's called. I wrote a song for him. I mean, I like to, meet the people I'm going to write, the dogs I'm going to write songs about, but, if you can't meet them, you just, do your best. Lots of folks are revolting. They've had enough of this shit. The rich are getting richer. They're saying that's it. But with Luke, it's different, that's clear. As he emerges from the fog, let's hear it for Luke and it calls the riot dog. It's a fight between people, but he is no pawn. He knows exactly which side he's on. In the machine of capital, he is no cog. Let's hear it for Luke and it calls the riot dog. When a smoke bomb comes towards him, he kicks it back at the fuzz. He acts a bit different than a normal dog does. He's got a fan page on Facebook, but he's got no time for a blog. Let's hear it for Luke and it calls the riot dog.